sir.
Um, okay, so basically, Anil is the language cert regional head of Hyderabad team from India. So we are connecting with him today to discuss a little bit about language cert. So it is really helpful that he has made some time and joined us today. And we can ask our queries if we have anything that will be really helpful to clarify our doubts regarding the language cert. So let's start a little bit brief discussion about Language Cert Academic. Then we will start asking the questions whichever are useful with Anil. And he will also be giving his feedbacks in this presentation. So let's start without any further ado. So basically, as we know, we have gone through the criteria of the language cert and we came to understand about its test foundations, scorings and benchmarks, components, and how it should be prepared, what should be done during the test day time, and what can be expected after the exam. So we are just having a little bit discussion about this thing. As we know, it ranges from B1 to C2 levels, whereas C2 is the most advanced, that is expert level, and B1 is basic level. That is like B1 is nothing but your proficient, B2 is your competent, and C1 is your superior, and C2 is your perfect 90 scores in PT, if we consider about that. And with the IELTS, it is similar like that. 6 bands, 7 bands, 8 bands, and 9 bands. So it is usually referring to the same thing. Whatever we have previously known in the other test, it is also the same thing. But only thing is that the structure of this exam is a little bit different than other tests. Whereas if you take the IELTS, it is completely analyzed by humans and it requires high level vocabulary. When we come to PT, it is purely test-based, computer-based test. Whereas if you come to Language Cert Academic, you can find that it is not like that. We have listening and reading marked with computer, but writing and speaking both are marked with humans. So that is a live interaction with the humans. So you won't find that much overwhelming to interact with a human. Unlike you find it difficult to interact in the PT exam, here we have interaction with the live human. So it depends from where you are taking, if you are taking it at your home or if you are taking it at test center. So if you are taking it at the test center, you will be having the Zoom call where the person will be present on the other end of the screen and you will be taking at the test center. If we talk about online method, then it will be a little bit different. And as you know that the results are usually released within just 5 working days. So that is the best thing about this thing. If you are going for IELTS or other things as well, they are also having the same thing. But the thing is that this is a new test and it is rapidly growing. It is evolving at its level best. And within a span of very few years, it has reached over 3,300 institutions recognition. And we are also are seeing its tremendous efforts in the Australian immigration as well, because it is now being approved for PR generally now. So as we have just discussed, it is 100% acceptable for your UK student and skilled visas. And we have also about Department of Home Affairs, and it is accepted in almost all universities of UK, New Zealand, and Europe. As we have just discussed that B1 is the least possible way, which is competent. Then we have B2, which is you can say as a proficient. C1 is more like a superior and C2 is perfect 90s. So this is the comparison between IELTS score as well as language cert score. If you are getting 75 in language cert, that means you are going to get 7 bands in IELTS, which will be helpful to give an entry into your postgraduate entry, or you can say as master's program. If you are getting 90 plus, that is useful for your PR applications. Then we have the breakthroughs, the methodologies, what are used for this. So as you know, we have three main things here in this language cert academic. And here we will see that each of these modules will have like listening and reading will have 40 questions. And this will be divided into different sections. Each section may have about 10 questions like that. So depending on the type of audio, like especially in the listening section, your audio will be played twice. So that is the very best thing about this test. If you are having a little bit doubt about your listening skills, then definitely you can rehear it for the second time, and definitely you will be able to get the correct answer in the next time. It will also be help you to reinforce your idea. So you have to first listening, you have to listen to that thing, then we have to understand how it is flowing in the sentence and how we can get the correct answer in the second time. So second time is for just reconfirmation your answer. There you do not have to take any chances to change your answers. If your first was correct, but if you just want to be on the safe side, you can listen to the second time and you can select the correct answer with full confidence. Then, as you know, the basics thing is we have listening part one and part two, where the part one will be dialogue combination will be there. Few dialogues you will be able to hear from the audio and you have to complete the sentence. Then we have the extended conversation analysis. People will be discussing among themselves and you have to write the most appropriate thing. Exams and the student perspective of the exam. Yes, yes. Then we have part three and part four, where we will be having lectures and discussions. It is just like you can say as retail lecture and summarized group discussion kind of thing. So similar to PT. So if you just are comfortable with the PT academic kind of thing, which is involving retail lecture and your summarized group discussion, this will be very easy, a piece of cake for you. Then when we talk about reading, it is purely dependent on how quickly you are able to find out the context clues. So you just have to go through the reading section. You have to find the important information, skim your information, go through the keywords, and then you have to focus a lot on the part three and part four, because these are a little bit tougher things, as you will be having good length of passages. So you have to go through them. We recommend you to keep at least 25 minutes for section 3 and section 4 of reading. Okay, because it will be a little bit complex to find the correct answer. Then, as you know, time management is a really important thing. You have to make sure that before the timer ends, you have to answer all parts of the test. Then, as we know, the part one is usually it is related to your synonyms. So something will be present, like it will be given as a discussion and the argument will be given here. So you just have to check what can be the most appropriate word that can be going with that provided underlined word. So it will be bold in the context. You just have to read the context, try to understand what could be the most correct thing. With that, it will be helpful for you to gain marks in your reading. And one good thing about this test is it is not a integrated score system and it does not have any negative marking. So that is a really good thing. You just have to focus on trying to score as much as you can without the stress of getting any negative scores. If your grammar and lexis are good, or if your text coherence is good, definitely it will be very easy for you to crack reading task 1 and task 2. Task 3 is related to your deep analysis of understanding what is the passage inferring to, and you have to understand what you can do to get the better marks. So the thing here is in the writing section, you will be having just two tasks, similar like you have in the IELTS. But here the thing is that in the task one, you have to write more about the describe this kind of thing, where three things will be given. Based on those three topics, you have to keep your answer related to. It should not go away from that. And there is no need for highlighting your own point of view. Keep it related as per the topic, and you will be getting good scores. Task 2 has more weightage, which is about essay writing. So this you have to write about more than 200 words. So make sure that you are writing good amount of content so that you are able to score maximum scores. And this has 60% of the weightage, similar like IELTS. Total time will be given as 50 minutes, and this will be including the everything. All right. So as we have said, writing task 1 will include 150 to 200 words. You have to write a report based on the image or data provided and ensuring that all the important things of the question are covered. Then make sure that you are making sure that you are making comparisons so that you are getting the best out of your response. Make sure that you are writing also about the differences in between the markings. If you have anything like bar graph, make sure that you are highlighting which is the highest, which is the lowest, and what can be inferred in the upcoming years. That prediction analysis, if it is asking, you have to make the predictions as well by comparing the oldest data. Then the essay is more about writing in the formal academic style. You have to make sure that you are keeping it according to the methods of writing the essay, which is form structure should be followed. 3 paragraph, 4 paragraph, or 5 paragraph essay can be used here. Make sure that you are not writing it completely in a single paragraph because that will not give you good scores. Keep it separately. That is really important. And make sure that you are using high level linking words like firstly, secondly, moreover, furthermore, or nevertheless, or on the one hand, on the other hand. In that kind of way, you have to use high level um, linking words. And the next thing is that you have to take care that you are giving proper relevant examples, you are expressing a different point of views, and you are providing specific information which is matching with the topic. It should not go off the topic. So always keep your response related to the topic only. Then the last part is your speaking, where a lot of people get confused with the LanguageCert method of speaking test. Here the thing will be, as I said in the beginning, you will be having an interaction with a real human. So it is not an AI generated person. So you can speak confidently without getting hesitation with the whether they will consider a lot about your fluency. So you just have to keep on speaking without fumbling. That is not the case. Even if you fumble little bit time here and there, that is completely acceptable. You just have to maintain your composure and you have to speak with clarity. Okay, make sure that you are able to make the other person understand what you are trying to tell. That is really important. Then, as we have said, it is just a 14-minute session. Unlike in the PT Academic, we have about 36 to 45 minutes of this thing. So here it is just 14-minute session. You just have to speak for about 14 minutes. And even the method will be in such a way that you will be very comfortable in speaking with the person. So they will be giving you slight hints how you can improve your response, how you can better give out your speaking skills. That will be supported by the real examiner as well. So they will be helping you to maintain the natural flow. They will be asking you small kind of questions which will be very easy to tackle. They won't be needing you with a very high level vocabulary. As long as you are able to speak in a simple language, that is more than sufficient. Just you need to maintain your flow so that you are not getting hesitated while you are speaking. That is what they want to understand. So no need to worry about the accents because they will be recording the response and then they will be going through multiple checks to understand your response in a much better way so that they can give you accurate scorings. So be natural. And if you are getting a little bit hesitated here and there, you can use fillers like, let me think for a second. I don't have any idea about that. I have not thought about this in such a way. Kindly allow me a moment to think. You can say like this thing to bridge the gaps in your response. And you may even request for repetition of the question if you have any doubt so that it is not having any negative marking on your scores. because it happens in the real exam. If you are unable to understand something, you will definitely ask them for a repetition. You can say, pardon, sorry, can you please get again? So you can say like that, and definitely they will be more than willing to support you, so that they want you to pass with good colors. As you know, the part one and part two are very basic kind of thing. Here, the person will be having a little bit discussion about uh, what is your profession and where do you live, what do you like about your place, similar like IELTS. Whereas part two will be a little bit about general word scenarios. So they will be asking like, let's imagine you are moving to some place at that time, how you are going to tackle that thing. If you are submitting late assignments at that time, how you are going to tackle that situation. So that is what they will be expecting you in the task one and task two of your language cert academic. Part 3 and part 4 are more about, you can say as part 3 is like read aloud. And once the read aloud is completed, they will be asking you few questions follow up for that. Like, what do you understand from this read aloud? What is your point of view regarding this regarding this passage? They will be asking you that questions. Then finally, you will be provided with an image. About that, you have to speak. You have to speak in such a way that you are answering all parts of the question, and then you are also able to answer the follow-up questions from the test taker. Here, the important thing to score good in the real exam is that you have to avoid memorizing the templates. Make sure that you are not repeating the same things again and again. Like some people have this habit of memorizing some responses. So we should avoid doing that thing. Be natural, and definitely you will be getting much better scores. Because if you are trying to use some kind of templates, what will happen is you will be thinking about the template, and you will also have to think about your response. So in this back and forth in your brain will get confused, and at one point it will get stuck. So don't do like that. Be natural in your flow, and you will be getting good scores. Then we have simulations as well on the official platform. If you have any queries understanding what will be the test, how it will be present, so you can just go through the LanguageCert Academic official website. Once you create your portal, once you create your account, you will be able to access all the kind of a few kind of test papers, you can say. Then we can also go through the proofreadings for each and everything. Make sure that you are saving some time to do the proof checks. Don't end it till the last time. Okay, make sure that you are keeping some time so that you can proof check everything. That will help you score good. Word count is really important. Don't go less than 150 words. Don't go more than 300 words, because unnecessarily wasting time in writing is not helpful for your scores. Then we have identify your weak areas, work on them, go through the official mock test, and take a slide test to understand what can be the kind of questions expected in the real exam. That will be helpful for you to improve your scores. Then what you have to do on the final test day. As you know, we have to go through the technical setup if you are taking at the home. This is really important. You have to check all the important informations, and you have to check whether you are having proper lighting, proper internet connection, proper hardware check requirements, which will be helpful for you to easily complete the exam. If you are having any sort of such issues, definitely you are going to face issues in the middle of the exam, which will not give you better scores. Then having mental rest, have a proper sleep before the exam, so that you can uh, be fresh on the exam day. You don't hesitate, you are being confident on the exam day. Always arrive a little bit, a few minutes earlier than the scheduled exam time, so that you are not in a hurry kind of situation. Prepare yourself, sit for some time at the exam center, and relieve your panic situation. That will be helpful for you to score better. Make sure that you are maintaining the pace, because timing is really important. Each and every question has to be done in a limited set of time, so that you are not wasting more time on getting stuck at one question and leaving the other questions. That is not useful. Then after 5 working days, you will get a certificate. You will also get a digital badge, which I have already shown in my groups as well. So you can have a look at that, and results will be available within 5 working days. What are the important things to crack your Language Cert Academy? The first thing is that you have to master the type of questions. You have to understand what type of answer is expected in each kind of task. Like in the reading task one, we have about your synonyms. So we have to understand that synonyms are really important. So you have to work on your vocabulary. If you are going with the listening task one, then definitely it is talking about discussion, right? So you have to make sure that you are having good understanding of communication skills. If your communication skills are good, definitely you will be able to complete that response. Then academic precision is really important, especially when you are speaking or you are writing. Make sure that you are using proper collocations, linking words, and you are avoiding spelling mistakes. So take care of these things. Then optimize for efficiency means you have to go with the practicing a lot. You have to understand that you are maintaining proper time so that you are able to reach your deadlines easily. Sometimes if you just hurry in the taking the test, it will not give you better scores. So if you are having exam after 1 month, if you are having the deadline of the admission for the university after 1 month, make sure that you are starting your preparation from today itself, so that you are able to practice properly, you are able to ace your exams, and that you don't have to retake the exam once again. If you just go in a rushing kind of method, definitely that is not going to give you better scores. Finally, targeted preparation. Make sure that you are having this idea regarding what kind of time you need. That means if you are aiming for, let's take for example, competent score, which is about 60 scores in the Language Cert Academic, make sure that you are fixing that time limit and you are practicing according to that. If your aim is for superior, make sure that you are practicing according to that. You can't achieve superior in just 5 days or 10 days preparation. It will take some time. So you have to prepare yourself accordingly. Then you can enroll in our classes and also use the official preparation materials of the Language Cert on their official portal. I have gone through the website and it is quite useful. It is interactive and you will also get a very better competitive edge compared to other unofficial platforms. Whatever materials are present on the official platforms that are very applicable and useful for the real exam preparation. All the questions may be similar or may not be similar, but definitely the method of questions will be similar to the real exam. So you can definitely use it. You can download the materials on the Language Cert portal as well, and you will be easily able to take 2 free mock tests. Scored mock test is also present. So make sure that you are using it for your level best. And as you know that this has been collected using the academic score chart of Language Cert with the latest updated information, and also our groups are present. So you can join that if you need, or you can follow us on our Facebook as well. That will be helpful. Okay, so let's have a little bit discussion about the question answer. That will be helpful for us to understand what this question exam is all about. All right, so over to you, Anil. Can you can add a few things that will be helpful for the students to understand. So if you have any guys, you can if you have any questions, you can ask your questions in the chat box as well. You can get your scores. That will be helpful. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Aman. Thank you for first of all, thank you for having me. And thank you for the comprehensive presentation that you've made. And I think, it'll help the candidates a lot. And I would also like to add a few points, just to summarize and make it simple for the ones who are attending the the session and who will be listening to this recording at a later stage as well. So, to put it in a nutshell, Language Cert Academic is a very similar examination like IELTS Academic or PT Academic, or TOEFL for academic purposes. So, it's going to test the same four components, that is listening, reading, writing, and speaking. But there are certain USPs in this test which make this test, certainly unique, from the other tests in the market. One of the main features of this test is the listening audio being played twice. So none of the other English language tests actually do that. So here, the listening audio is actually played two times. It's repeated, and moreover, like if you compare it with IELTS listening test, you have a lengthy audio wherein you have to listen to the audio and simultaneously you have to give the answers there, right? Here, that's not the case. It's all short conversations of 2 to 3 sentences, and each conversation is repeated. And each conversation is independent of the other conversations. Like it's not like linked to one another. Like let's say if you miss one answer, it's not going to affect your the rest of your answers or rest of the conversations as well. So they're independent of each other, and every conversation is repeated. So that gives a great advantage to the candidate where they are able to listen to the audio once again. So let's say the first instance they have external disturbance, or they were not able to understand, or you're not able to understand the accent, you have a second chance. Somebody who's already given the right answer, they can cross-check whether they've given the answer correctly or not, when the audio is repeated. So that's a great advantage with the listening test. And the listening test is actually for 40 minutes. But then since, all the conversation are repeated, so it's actually only for 20 minutes. So since it is repeated, it goes to 40 minutes, right? So the listening test is actually shorter than the rest of the tests. That's one. And another beautiful component or the beautiful feature in this particular test is the speaking test. Speaking test is very, very unique in this because it's always on a computer. I mean, it's always on a video call, but the examiner is not visible to the candidate. So you're not able to see the candidate. So, I mean, you're not able to see the examiner, I'm sorry. But the examiner can see you. You will not be able to see the examiner. So we've deliberately made it in such a way so that you're not nervous looking at the examiner, because a lot of candidates feel nervous, that somebody is judging my English. And, we have seen, I worked with IELTS in the past as well. So I've seen a lot of complaints coming from the candidates that examiner is not smiling, examiner is not making eye contact,
That's correct.
they seem to be not interested in my conversation.
Response.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we used to get a lot of that puts down the candidate, it kind of puts a doubt in the candidate's mind whether I'm actually speaking correctly or not. And they tend to underperform because of that. So what we've done is we've removed that particular situation here, wherein the examiner is not even visible to the candidate. Only questions are displayed on the screen. So the candidate's focus or your focus is always on the questions on the screen rather than the body language of the examiner. However, if there is a technical issue, if the candidate is not able to understand the questions or how to kind of navigate the test, examiner comes on the line, they will become visible. They will tell the candidate what to do and then they go back. So it's a very friendly approach, what we take when it comes to the speaking test. That is one. Second is all our examiners are very friendly, young and very friendly examiners. And the test is not academically challenging. It's more of a conversational, discussion that you have. All the four components, that is introduction. Introduction is basically talking about yourself, your hobbies and your education and all that. And then second one is basically a role play, wherein there's a situation as Ahmed mentioned. They create a situation. It's a generic situation. You don't have to worry what kind of situation they're going to create and all that. Because when I took the test, I got a situation saying that we both are studying in the same university campus, and we talk about the facilities available in the campus. And the examiner said, "Okay, I will start. I've been to the library. We've seen a wonderful collection of books. I think they really will help us in the academic preparation as well. Have you been to the library?" So that's the kind of discussion. So I said, okay, I have not been to the library. It's not necessary that you have to agree with everything what the examiner is saying. You say, I've not been to the library, but I've seen the sports facilities. I've seen the gym, since I'm a fitness freak, or since I'm a sports person. So I've checked those facilities first and I really like the campus. So it's building a conversation, right? And the third part, as Amit mentioned, it's a read aloud. You just have to read a paragraph which is given to you, and there would be a conversation or there would be questions, asking you whether you understand that, paragraph correctly or not. That is third, which is very simple. And the fourth one is, kind of explaining a diagram or explaining a representation of data as to what you understand out of that particular data. So you will be given a pen and a paper for the speaking test. So you will not get any pen and paper for the writing test, like the listening, reading, writing, which happens at one go. But you will get a pen and paper for speaking, so that you can take down notes and you can prepare your conversation with the examiner. Okay, so that's about the speaking test. Reading and writing are very similar to IELTS, except they are not very academically challenging. And then I would like to mention about writing here, special mention about writing. Writing task one and task two. Task one, also we've made it simpler, wherein we actually ask the candidates, or we mention the questions we mention the points in the questions, so that the candidates know what is expected, what to write in part one, rather than leaving it like summarize and then explain and all those things. So we specifically ask what is needed. That is one. And when it comes to writing task two, there is only one type of question. It's always your opinion. Unlike IELTS has got like eight type of questions. So there's always this surprise element. You don't know what kind of question you're going to get in the exam, right? But here, you know what you're going to get, what you've prepared, and what you're going to get in the examination. So there are no surprise elements in your writing part two. Okay. That is, the USBs of the test. But I would also like to add few more things. That is, there are other advantages of this test. That is basically, the test is economical compared to IELTS, TOEFL, and PT. It is cheaper. For example, in India, it is 16,800 or 16,430 when compared to the IELTS fees, which is almost 19,000. Okay, so that is one. You can book the test 24 to 48 hours, like even 1 to 2 days before the actual test, right? It is always a computer delivered test. And I actually made some notes while Ahmed was, kind of presenting. I wanted to clarify that is, yes, we do have two versions of the test. One is the online version, that is the home-based test, and we also have the center-based test. But I would recommend only go for the center-based test, because the recognition for the online or the home-based test is not that great. So though we are still working on that, but then the recognition, especially for the center based, especially for the home based test in our regions is not that great. Okay, so I would always recommend go to a center and take the test. Okay, and it's a computer delivered test. We don't have a pen and paper version of the test. Okay, so that is one, and you get your results in 5 working days. And as Amit mentioned, you will get two scorecards. Like one is a physical scorecard, which will be couriered to your address, and you will also get your digital scorecard added to your LanguageCert account. Okay, that is one. And we've also built a lot of learning materials on the website for you. As Amit mentioned, we have something called as a learning management system, which is called LMS, which is there on the website. I can actually quickly show you the website as well. Is that okay, Amit, if I show them the website quickly?
Yes, yes. Even I have opened that, so
You
anyone
opened
interested
it?
can
Okay.
do that. Yes, yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let me just share you that thing as well.
Yeah, you
So
can share
this is
this.
our, LMS, we can say once we log into our website on the language cert, we will be able to find
Yeah,
this
this is how the
thing.
website looks like.
Once we
And
sign here, we will be able to create the
sign in.
account,
Yeah,
create your account, and you will be able to get your all the necessary things available here. So
absolutely.
here we can also see our what you can say as if you have taken
Progress.
any language cert exam, you will be able to see the results as well. Um, just a second, maybe it's
Basically,
yeah,
you'll be able to see your entire portfolio, right
yeah.
from your
So if you see here,
exams which are scheduled. Yes,
if you have taken the test results, you will be able to see out here, and it will be present here. We can even share the official results with any number of universities as well, so that is not an issue. And next thing is our practice portal can be said here.
yes.
We have this thing, my preparation, and here we can see access for listening, reading, writing, and as well as for speaking. So once we go to here, we will be able to get this thing, which is your interactive practice test. You can click here, and we also have a practice test bank. So here the questions will be present, and each of these questions will have about eight things. Eight tasks will be given for
Eight
part
question
one,
type.
eight
Yeah,
for part two, eight for part three. So in that way, you have ample amount of questions already available on the official platform. And if you just understand the method of the question, it will be easy for you to crack your exam. So it is very similar. And we also have the practice test as well here. We can take the practice test and we also have the sample answers present here. So you can do anything. You can download the sample answers, take the test and cross verify yourself and mark yourself. It will be helpful for you to identify your areas of lackings and how you can improve your scores. Other thing is that what I found better is we also have this thing, which is your what you can say as question banks as well. That is also really helpful for you. Like we have official mock test papers. Let me just have a look at that. I believe we have shared that thing, right?
I've shared the two links basically. I mean, I've shared one link, basically the computer-based demo test,
Okay, okay.
and
Demo test.
I'm also putting the
Yeah,
digital practice papers, which is the scored mock test, also
right, right,
on the chat. I'm doing it right
right.
now.
So if you see here, we have this examsimulation.languagecert.com. Here we can take the exam simulation kind of thing. It will be directly matching with the real exam. But only thing is that here it will not be allowing you to take the speaking test because speaking is human based. So that cannot be mimicked here. Listening, reading, and writing are present here along with answer keys and audio scripts. We can have an understanding about how the questions will be and how you can improve your performance in the real exam. Then we also have the other things, which is your this material, scored mock test.
Yeah, this is a scored mock test. I've put the link as well here. Yeah.
Yes. So if you open this scored mock test, you will be able to find different kinds of syllabus present here. You can just download that things and you can practice by yourself as well. So if you go to the dashboard, most probably it will be present there. Uh, do we have to log in for this as well? Because it's
Yeah, I
already
think
there.
you'll have to log in. You have to log in.
Okay, but I think there is some issue
No, no,
with that.
you're talking about the scored mock test.
Yeah, in this thing.
Scored mock test, it's actually working for me. I'm able to see
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right,
I
let's
guess
see.
it's a network issue, but I'm able to progress to the listing. I'm
Okay,
able
yeah.
to take the quiz,
So you
yes.
can share it, no issues. We can have a idea about that.
Sure,
You can
just a
share your
second.
screen.
I'll just share my screen.
So here there is no need of depending on any kind of portal as of now because there is no such official portal which is exactly mimicking the LanguageCert academic. So it is better if we rely more on the official platform as of now. Later on, once other people start collecting more information, it will be helpful for us to get better understanding about the questions. So for PT or you can say as IELTS, we have APNE or Alpha PT. But as of now, uh, other platforms are also starting with this PT, this language cert preparation, but they are not that much accurate as of now. They still need to develop a lot and it will take some time, maybe about 3 months or 6 months, but definitely other platforms will soon catch up with this thing. As of now, the official resource is the best thing.
I'm just showing the reading
Yeah, you can
mock
take this
test. Yeah,
quiz
so this
here
is how
and
the reading mock test works. So you basically can read the questions and then it says like, this is basically read the sentences and decide which option A, B, C, D can best replace the word which is highlighted in bold or which is in bold. So the meaning of the sentence remains the same. For example, initially most Americans experienced air conditioning only in places such as theaters or department stores where it was seen as an interesting novelty. So you have to replace novelty with any of these four words. So for example, reform, introduction, innovation, or advance.
yeah. So if you see novelty is usually referring to, you can say as innovation, you can say, because it is talking about the new kind of things, right? So when we understand this question, air conditioning, this has been developed as a new thing. So novelty is usually referring to innovation. In that way, we can understand with the good level of vocabulary. Okay.
So this is how it works. So you'll answer all the questions. It gives you a timer as well. And then
Yes.
end of the test, you will also get the score.
Okay.
Similarly, it works for, let's say if I go back, similarly, you can take your listening. You click listening, it will take you to the listening, and then writing, it will take you to the writing. So this is how you practice, in the digital practice papers.
I think here in the resources we have that PDFs, right?
Resources
The
are the PDFs where to
Right,
prepare
right, right.
all those
So
things.
here, from here, you can
Right?
also get an idea about official mock test papers.
Correct.
Preparation resources will be present here. Digital mock practice papers is the one which is your scored practice mock test.
Correct.
Okay, so
Correct.
that is helpful for you. You can take the printable copy of the papers and you can go through the audios and crack the practice. Okay,
And
we have lots of other things as well.
another way to find these resources is once you go to the language tests, just click academic because you are looking into university and college admission tests. So it's the academic test. So once you click the academic test, it'll give you the description of the entire test. What is this test all about? What are the features of the test? A little synopsis of each component, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And then you further scroll down, you will find the test center, the test options, and this is the LMS, the learning management system, which is basically what Ahmed showed you about practicing, and then you have to log into this so that it tracks your progress. So let's say you practice a couple of hours today, and then you come back tomorrow and you want to practice, it'll start from where you stopped. So it's a progressive learning. So this is what takes you to the learning management system, and this is all the resources that I've just showed you. This has got the practice papers, the book of practice papers, qualification handbook, the computer-based demo test, writing sample answers, speaking test videos, preparation tips, and familiarization videos and self-paced webinars. Right. So this is where you find all the resources. And another important thing that I want to show you is how to check the recognition, because that's the most important part for any test. Because before you take the test, you need to understand whether this test is accepted in that particular country, in that particular university or not. Okay. Just to give you an overview, we are accepted in more than 100 plus countries, and more than 3,300 plus organizations accept our tests for various purposes, academic as well as immigration purposes. And to give you a gist of the countries, a major acceptance is in the UK, wherein 85 to 90% of the institutions accept our tests. And we are also accepted in the UK for immigration, that is, the PR, visas. And we also accepted in Ireland, New Zealand, Poland, Netherlands, a lot of European countries, and Australia as well. Australia also accepts us for study as well as immigration. Okay. So this is the page. When you click who accepts us, this will display the list of countries. Please don't get confused. This is the country list of countries which accept us for immigration as well, apart from study. Okay. For study, we have 100 plus countries, but this is the list of countries which accept us for immigration also. Okay. And if you further scroll down, see if you see, just to before we go down, this is UK, Australia, Ireland, Czech, France, Greece, Hungary, Latvia, Libya, Netherlands, New Zealand, Romania, Poland, Spain, Thailand, and Vietnam. So they all accept our test for PR purposes and immigration also. And if you further scroll down, this is where you see the list of universities who are accepting us for study purposes. So you'll have all the countries, the major countries are listed here. Rest of them are listed here. So if something is not listed here, you can actually type and get it. For example, let's say Sweden. So you get Sweden here. You just have to select this, right? Otherwise, most of the countries, the major ones are listed here. You can also search the university by, typing the name of the university. For example, Deakin. So Deakin accepts us. So if a particular university is showing here, that means they accept our test. Okay, there might be a situation where you are able to see the university or the institution over here, but it is not listed. The LanguageCert test is not listed on their website. It happens because the universities or the colleges, they're not promptly updating, this information on their websites because they take their own time to do that. But as and when we get a recognition, we put it on this particular list. So this is the best place to check. If it is showing here, that means that particular institution accepts LanguageCert academic for study admission purposes.
All right. So one person has asked, is it easy to get superior English with language cert for Australian immigration? What is your point of view, Anil?
Yes, it is, Ahmed, and I don't know who asked this question, but yes, it is because we've seen candidates recently. There was one candidate in Hyderabad, India, wherein that particular candidate has actually given PT two times. She didn't get the score. She was applying for Australia PR. She didn't get the scores. And she's taken language at academic, which is accepted by Australia. And you would not believe the score that she got. She got a C2. C2 is the top score that she can get. And she personally called me and she said, like, I will never imagine getting it's equivalent to 9 of IELTS. She
Right.
said, I can never imagine getting a 9 in IELTS, sir. So thank you for this. I was able to get C2 in language, sir. So it is relatively, I would say, simpler, and hence it is easier for the candidates because there are features which make it easier, like listening audio being played twice, examiner not visible, so less nervous in the speaking test. It's a very friendly conversation. And if you talk about reading and writing as well, they're simpler compared to the IELTS test. So the overall, what we've done in this test is we've taken the best of all worlds. We've taken the best of IELTS, best of PT, best of OET also, which is the role play comes into picture from OET. So we've taken the best of all the tests and we made this test so that the candidates perform better and it kind of benefits them without compromising on the quality and the standard of the test. Otherwise, Australia would not have accepted us.
Right, right. So I hope Munib has got his answer. So any offline or online coaching is available for this test. I'm not sure about the offline coaching as of now. If you are looking for online coaching, you can approach us, Gautam. That will be helpful for you. And we in collaboration with Anil, we also have some vouchers. If you are available in India or Bangladesh or in Pakistan, we can arrange vouchers at discounted rates. Hopefully that will be helpful and reduce your burdens on the cost booking. Then other thing is that Anil, one person has also reached out to me telling that they have gone through this test once and they have said that they are finding it difficult to manage the time in the speaking section because that is also felt by me when I took my test. As I have already informed you that we need to have a timer for each and every question. That will be much better for the person to think that okay, I have this much time of left and I can give my response with more confidence. If you are not having that timer, it will be a little bit confusing for the student to when to end the response and how long he has to speak there. So some
I
people
understand,
may,
Hemant, yes.
yes,
And as we discussed, sorry to cut you off, but I
yes,
understand your question.
no issues.
So as we discussed the other day also, the idea is not to put a timer so that, because again, we have taken out the elements which make the candidates nervous. Timer is again something which makes everybody nervous. You're sitting on a time bomb, right? So we don't want that to happen with the candidate. So that's why what we've done is we wanted to have a casual conversation with the examiner. It's not that you have to speak for these many minutes, even if you're speaking less. If you're speaking, confidently, you've kind of covered all the points, you will still get the points. It's not that you have to complete that 2 minutes or 3 minutes of time, which is given to you and all that. As long as you're able to respond appropriately, as long as you're able to complete the task which is given to you, you're absolutely good. And as I said, like, we didn't want to put that timer and make you further nervous. So that's the point that, we didn't have that.
Right. That's really good thing to hear. One more thing is that how to manage the time in these tasks. Do you have any idea like how much suggested time do you recommend for each question? 1 minute or 1.5 minute? What do you suggest?
Which component are we talking about?
Let's take for about reading, especially the part 3 and part 4 where people will get more stuck.
Right. So I think the quicker that you do, it's actually going to give you more time for the rest of the modules, which is or rest of the question types, which is third part three and part four. So I think the more you practice, probably once you take the practice test or the computer demo test, you'll understand the type of questions. If you start practicing on that, because adding a synonym, it's the one that we've seen right now, sometime back. It's a very simple thing. You just have to replace that particular word with the words which are given in the multiple choice without changing the meaning. I think that will not take much time. It'll take
Yes,
less than a minute. I'm sorry. It'll take less than a minute, but that comes with more of practice. Once you start practicing, I think you'll be able to do that in less than a minute, and maybe in 30 seconds itself.
that's
So
true.
ideally, I would say Dedicate a minute, not more than that. Try to do it within a minute. And when you start practicing it, obviously you'll come down, less than a minute, maybe 30 seconds you'll answer. And remaining part three and part four, you can actually give a little more time to understand which para is, which paragraph does the sentence belong to, filling in the blanks and all that. That might take a little more time. So that will give you more time when you try to do those parts.
Definitely.
Hi.
So Rahman has asked one question whether templates are working in LanguageCert as it used to work a few time ago in PT as well. So what is your response regarding that?
See, I would say templates is something that all the tests would recognize. All the examiners would recognize. Be it any test, be it IELTS, PT, any test. When you write a template, they will automatically understand. I would rather say keep it natural rather than using template. You can use templates to practice. It's always good to use templates to practice. So this is the way. Okay, this is where I design it. But don't try to kind of insert the words in the existing format or existing template because see what happens is forget about the test. You're limiting your own potential.
That's
You're not
true.
trying to you're not trying to put that effort to kind of build that paragraph. See, for whatever reasons that you're migrating, you might be migrating for PR, you might be migrating for doing your masters. If you are not putting the effort to just write one essay, how do you think you would be able to finish your masters effortlessly?
That's
So
true.
it has to be in the mindset of going through that effort of putting that whatever task is given to you. Don't try to use templates in the exam. You might use that to practice, but I would strongly recommend in the examination try to make it as natural as possible. Examiner would also understand. And as I said, like they're only judging, they're not trying to judge you in terms of and to penalize you. No, they're trying to kind of help you. They're trying to kind of see, what all. If you noticed what Ahmed said during the speaking test, the speaking examiners, when they evaluate your test, the examiner who's actually evaluating is only responsible to evaluate your response, whether you have given the right response or not. There is a second examiner who will be listening to your recording and then kind of giving you the marks for the rest of the parameters, like whether your vocabulary was okay, whether your what do you call what are the other parameters? Ahmed, I'm sorry, I'm not.
Collocations, you can say, you can
Yeah, so
link
all
some
those
words.
things are
Yeah,
marked by a second examiner, right?
right,
So the intention, the reason I'm trying to give you this example is the intention is to get the best out of you, not to penalize you.
right. So if you have any further questions, you can ask Gautam or max marks for is like in PT. Okay, that is 100.
It's
We can
100.
get 100. And for Australian PR, anything 85 above is, I guess it is considered superior. So
Yes.
that is you can follow. Only in the case of speaking and writing, you have to score above 89. So that is the only limitation here. Same for listening and reading, we have about 83, something like that for superiors in language set academic as well.
Can I speak something?
Yes, please, you can.
Hi Anil, how are you doing? Okay,
I
I'm the partner in the language academy by Dr. Ahmed in Pakistan. So I've been going through your LMS portal, and that's amazing thing you have done it by yourself. See, I want something to add, like more things. Like in the reading section, we need parts of speech and the things like that. That will definitely help students to ace or to boost their knowledge. What is relevant to language cert only? Like in PT, they upload normally the collocations list, which is the words. So we want something like that because it's a new test and students ask many questions they are expecting from us to answer, and some of the time we are not even able to answer. Okay, give us the portal. Okay, the problem is totally solved, and Sir Ahmed have already given the test. I'm going to sit in the exam within like 1 week or 10 days. So I would really suggest you to add up more materials in the LMS portal or more files in PDF form. So that will be great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, first of all, for going through the LMS. Yes, that's actually on the top of our, agenda, getting more materials, not only LMS, getting more test practice papers also. Because please understand that, we just started 1.5 year back in India and, probably, let's say 2 years back in India. And we're trying to push as much material as possible. And it takes a little time because we have to kind of build the material, do the content analyzing with the test, match it, proofread it, and then ensure it is matching to the standards and all that. So official practice papers, what happens is it takes a little while. So we are working on that. That's on the top of our agenda. And even the LMS thing, we're trying to add more and more, content to that so that, gives more content for the candidates to practice. And as trainers also, you'll be able to train them in the right manner as well. So that's work in progress, Sir. So I wouldn't be able to give you a time frame, but I can say that we are definitely working on this. This is certainly important for us as well.
Great, great. Any more questions from anyone else you can ask because it's already 11 time and I know Anil also has their own work, so we have to
No, no, I
wrap it
would,
up quickly.
my pleasure. I mean, it's glad to kind of answer questions, glad to kind of, if I'm able to help somebody, get their scores, help them in their study abroad journey, I'll be more than happy. So,
Definitely, definitely. So one thing you have to understand that only
Thank you
language
so
cert
much, Anil.
academic, yeah, only LanguageCert academic acceptable for Australian PR. So don't select any other kind of test which is not approved by the Australian tests. Okay. So avoid doing that thing. Some people book that ESOL B1, B2 kind of other kind of test, which is not helpful for your PR journey. So understand which is the correct practice test and follow that thing.
for Australia, it's simple, only
Yeah,
language academic.
only LanguageCert academy.
For
Yes, Sad, you
UK,
can ask.
yeah, for UK, there are certain different types of tests. They're different in the sense for UK, for study purposes, it's language at academic. Do we have any PR candidates also here? I think Gautam is a PR candidate for Australia. So
Yes.
Gautam, that is clear. For Australia, it is always language at academic. But if somebody is trying to apply for UK, we also have the CELT test, the UKVI test. So UKVI is not different from LCA. The content, everything, the question paper, everything is same. We call them as UKVI because they are taken in designated test centers, which are approved by the UK Home Office. Okay. So in that again, there are two versions of it, academic as well as general. Academic is for study and general is for immigration. But Gautam, when it comes to Australia, it's only one test, language at academic. So there's no confusion there.
Yes, you can ask your question, Sad, if you have any more.
Oh, thank you so much for being there, Anil. And it will really helpful for us. And I'm hoping for more sessions and more collaborations with you people. And definitely, thank you so much
Absolutely,
for being
Sad. And
there.
I hope you're in touch with Sami. Sami is based out of Pakistan.
Yes,
Yeah, he looks after entire
yes.
language and portfolio in Pakistan. Yeah, so you can always reach out to him. I mean, anyways, I'm also there. I'm in touch with Ahmed, so you can always connect to Ahmed as well.
Okay, sure, Anil. Thank you so
And
much.
another offering from LanguageCert, like if any of from my side for that matter, any of you wanting to take a test in India, Bangladesh, or Pakistan, please do reach out to Ahmed, and I probably can try to see if I can offer you a discounted voucher, connecting with the test center and offer you a discounted voucher for you.
Done, done. Gautam is from Gujarat, so hopefully we can provide him
So I
that
can
thing.
definitely help Gautam with that. No problem. Yes, yes.
All right. Uh, okay, sir. Any online? Yes, yes, definitely, Rahman. We will be providing that classes. So let's wrap up this session. And thank you so much, Anil, for being here and taking your time out for this session. And it was really helpful and insightful webinar. I really appreciate your explanation about all the things in minute details. So thanks for being here. All right.
Thank you, Ahmad. All the best to Gautam, Rahman, Syed, and I don't know the name of the other person. It's only a number. Good luck to you in your preparation, and do let us know if we can support you in, in any way.
All right then.
All the
Thank you.
best.
All right.
Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you, Saad.
Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.